Hey guys, let's put that phone back in the pocket and let's go for a ride. This video is for newer riders, to maybe people that have never ridden a motorcycle before and may be interested in hearing a perspective of someone who's been riding for a few years. I just want to talk about some things on this ride. It's a voiceover, so I already went on the ride and know what to expect. And what I wanted to focus on this video is just give you guys a few pointers on what to look out for when you go out for a ride. Um, I've been riding for a few years on the street, and even though I'm not wearing my jacket and some boots right now, I still feel like I can tell you guys a few little things here and there that you might not have run into quite yet. Mainly like this intersection. It's kind of busy right now. I'm sure you'll run into way worse when you're commuting. This is a Sunday afternoon, so I'm taking it chill. I'm not in a hurry. I'm looking left. I'm looking right. I'm making sure that when I pull out that I'm not going to have to really quickly accelerate or do anything where it's going to be unexpected and I might make a mistake. Up ahead here, I'm going to be making a right-hand turn, and there's going to be a blue truck on the left who's coming. So a lot of times, you go into some turn hot and you run wide. Well, here's a reason why you want to make sure you hold your lines. There's always something you can't see. There might be something in the road, and if you're going too fast, you might not be able to react quick enough to appropriately avoid injuring yourself and maybe somebody else. This is also something real common where I'm going to go up and make a right-hand turn onto a busy street, and it's kind of a short distance from the next point where I want to turn left. So I'm checking, my left hand, I'm going right. You want to have good, smooth controls when you do this stuff so that, you're not jabbing your front brake and causing an imbalance that might make you fall. This guy in front of me, he stopped. So, if you're blasting behind somebody and they stop to get gas, just make sure you leave yourself enough room to where you can safely maneuver around it. But yeah, this is what riding's like, I think that when I first got my permit 10 or 12 years ago, I think, you stick to some back roads. You're driving around your typical backyard neighborhood. There's some stop signs. You're working on your clutch work. You're looking left. You're looking right. You're scanning for dogs, kids, cats. You're trying not to hit anything and gain some riding experience. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the riding I do really kind of looks like this. There's not a lot going on. A few cars out on the road. It feels safe, and it can be a little bit deceptive because you're having such a good time, and these little side streets make you want to go faster than you probably should. But yeah, this is kind of what riding looks like. Stop signs and looking at the trees, feeling the breeze. This is like how you fall in love with motorcycle riding right here. We got some canyons around here too, which are a whole lot of fun as well, but I won't be covering any of that today. What I really wanted to talk to you guys about is just just some little hazards that you run into. I feel like a lot of videos have some great footage and you see a lot of crash videos, but I was just out going today for a little ride. I just had some time to kill. Just going to buy a grocery or gift or something like that for one of our in-laws. Like right here, these two cars are going to be turning left. So I'm going to go straight on the green, and at the top of this hill there's a four-way intersection with stop signs all around, which is really nice. But once I start going down the hill, you're going to see a red car making a right-hand turn to come up toward me. And this is kind of a really blind left-hand turn. So when people say, oh, left-hand turns are dangerous, this is kind of one of those scenarios. You just want to kind of inch forward and make sure there isn't something there that's going to catch you by surprise. So, as you avoid these hazards, you can see these cars coming up the street. Hopefully they're following the speed limit to where when you're inching forward you can see them and either go forward or stay where you're at and avoid collision. So anyway, I just head down this residential street, much like you'd be doing when you have your permit. You're avoiding freeways, you're staying off busy streets, you're going in the back, you're just taking your time and enjoying riding. So coming up here, there's a some stop signs. You're going to see a lot of these when you're avoiding the freeway. And when you're coming to a stop, just apply both brakes gradually. And it's important that you don't put your foot down until you've stopped the bike with the mechanical advantage that your brakes actually provide. Otherwise, you look like a goof. You stop and you put your foot down and try to stop yourself with your foot, and it just doesn't really work. You can use your rear brake a lot of these and kind of do what bicyclists do, is like a track stand, where you're like applying brake and throttle, but that'll come with time. As long as you have a little bit forward momentum going, the bike will stay up. Just again driving through town, and there's lots of driveways and stuff. You want to make sure that you're just paying attention. So when you come into a stop, look left, right, just keep going. A lot of times people will just let you go if you get to a stop sign first. Motorcycles always have this kind of appeal, like, hey, you guys are in a hurry. This guy wasn't really blinking, and he flagged me on with his hand. Yeah, so again, just doing some more city riding. So yeah, like I said, I've been riding for a few years, and just I don't really need to commute on a bike. I have a work truck, and with my family and stuff, I'm not really on my bike as much as I used to be. So now when I go out, I just pretty much try to just purely enjoy being out on two wheels. I'm not like oh my gosh, I have to be on the bike every day, but I want to go out and work on my skills and just keep sharp. So here I'm stuck at a red light, and a lot of times you'll find lights that don't trigger with the weight of a bike. So you might be left with some decisions like, should I just run this red light or something? Because if you're on a light bike, you might not trigger the red light, or you have to wait for someone else on the other side, or for the natural progression of light. And sometimes off hours, these things they just stay green until someone else shows up. So I'm not sure if that's the best way to have a light program, but there's nothing really you can do about it. So here, residential streets, you run into stuff like this all the time. Just somebody backing out of their driveway, doesn't know where he's going, isn't looking backwards, or just thought that was the best time to go. So, when you run around these residential streets, just the 25 speed limit makes pretty good sense, and you can stop pretty hard from 25 down to 0. If anything were to get out in front of you, I think you'd have no problem stopping with any modern bike, especially a sport bike. Even if you grab the brake super hard and get your rear wheel off the ground, just make sure you let go of the front brake so that your rear wheel will come down without you looping forward. Here's a common turn. I think as you get more skilled, you can drive right while looking left. But just take note that, let's just say I were to pull forward right now and there was a car. If you hit your front brake while you're looking left and trying to go right, a lot of people drop their bikes this way. So, as you work on your smoothness, maybe use your rear brake and don't gun it so hard to where you're going to need that front brake to stop. Especially when you're looking left and driving right, or vice versa. When your handlebars are tweaked and stuff like that, and you grab the brake in an unsmooth manner, you might have a bad time. So yeah, this is beautiful Whittier. Just again, more of what you might see. Whittier Boulevard is a more busy street, so as you move flow traffic, just take note that most people can't see you. They might hear you, but most often than not, they're not looking at you. They're looking at their phones, and you drive a car, you probably look at your phone, and you're not really paying attention. And you've had these experiences where you're like, wow, that bike came out of nowhere. But when you're on a bike's perspective, you have pretty good visibility. And if you're paying attention to the people that are driving around you, you'll find out, who's not paying attention and who is, and where can you stop. I want to take note that, in your head, you're checking your mirrors, you're trying to see, is someone behind me, are they going to stop? A lot of motorcyclists recommend keeping the bike always in first gear and giving yourself an exit route, just in case you see the person behind you looks like he's not paying attention or he's slowly inching forward. I always see stuff on Reddit about people getting rear-ended, or the guy who's texting, and vigilantes and stuff. So I'm making a right-hand turn onto another residential street here. And this is another one where, you might think, oh, I'm practicing this sick corner, but look, there's a guy going backwards just out of vision from the right-hand turn. So just get ready to run into a whole bunch of stuff like this. Just a whole lot of people just going slow in weird directions on streets. Here you have these little kids pretending to hold a rope. I was going to do a wheelie, but, I don't want to be stupid. Oh, look, yeah, you got a rope. You little punks. Anyway, this is like a really narrow street. It's probably built in the 40s. I don't know. Whittier's pretty old. And it gets really narrow there. And again, I'm always looking out for dogs. And this isn't like some LA cities where you have loose dogs running around, or the Inland Empire where you have loose dogs running around everywhere. But at the same time, it's they're narrow streets, and you want to move over a little bit to give the bigger vehicles room to go through. I know these intersections pretty well. Like right here, you have like a fitness trailway, and you want to make sure that some guy just doesn't, go 20 miles an hour straight into a crosswalk in front of you. So just stop and take a look. A lot of things can be really easily predicted just by knowing the routes that you're on, and if you're not on a familiar route, then take extra caution. Like on the way back here, hey, there's a park. You might think, oh, a lot of people are going to turn into a park, and might not signal to let you know that. So just keep in mind, when you're going past busy places that are busy, people might do last-minute maneuvers in front of you, and they can't see you, and I wouldn't get mad about it. It's just kind of the nature of being on a bike is you're not going to be visible. You'll make yourself visible, but at the same time, people just don't pay attention to motorcyclists. Here's a revelation that you might not know about either, is you can stand on your motorcycle. If you're a new rider, don't be afraid to just stand up while you're riding. Over bumps, cracks, anything that you just don't want to experience without the compression of your knees, just stand up over stuff like that. They say you can even like hit things going really fast and stand up, and if you're not too tight on the bars, it'll feel pretty good. I'm gonna just drive up here. This is my parents' house, and I was gonna park underneath this tree. Then I remember that this tree drops sap, so just don't get sap on your motorcycle. Sap is for suckers. Just make sure you pick good parking spots. Anyway, gonna cut out of this real quick. Alright, back from visiting the parents for a few minutes. So just make sure you put your kickstand up, put your clutch in, start the bike. If you let the clutch out with the kickstand down, you can either break your kickstand if your bike will allow it, or your bike's just going to turn off and you have to restart the bike again. I learned to ride on these very same little neighborhood here, and you just want to be careful. Look for cars coming from the left when you're going right. Be smooth. You don't have to give it too much throttle to have a good time. Even though I think you will be giving it lots of throttle shortly and having a lot of fun times. Again, I'm going through these residentials here, and as someone that's brand new to motorcycling, hasn't ridden too much, I can recommend, a lot of the skills you get from a bicycle kind of transfer over to a motorcycle. It's a little bit heavier. Speaking of the police, when you're young and given the thing a lot of gas and stuff, just remember it's kind of more fun to speed on a bike, and you can definitely get speeding tickets on a bike. You can take that from me. But now that I'm older and I've taken it a lot more chill, my driving record's clean again, and I'm really enjoying the reduced insurance rates that I saw when I turned 25 and when all my speeding tickets dropped off my record. So that was pretty cool. Also, for some strange reason, the bike that I have isn't really classified as a sport bike, but it's classified as like some other adventure vehicle or something, and the insurance seems to be a lot cheaper because of that. Again, just keep your eye out, look left, look right. I think as long as you learn to stop and go smoothly with your clutch work, pull the clutch in all the way, shift up, let the clutch out, work on your smoothness. Don't brake too drastically. Practice some emergency brakes. I think you'll be well on your way to enjoying motorcycling. Any questions? Write them in the comments. Thanks.